I'd like to thank you for signing up to be a small group leader for our fall challenge. It should be a great year. We've got a lot of things going on, and it should be one of the best fall challenges we've ever had. There's just some basic things I want to go over with you in this video. So if you can just take a few moments and watch this, it won't be more than 3 or 4 minutes, but it should help you as being a small group leader. One thing that you'll get from me is weekly, on Monday, you should be getting an email from me that will have a copy of our small group discussion. And you can print that and have that on hand and ready to use it as you need to. You don't have to bring it to youth group if you don't want, but I will have them for you. If you look around the youth room, when you first come in, there's a place over here on the wall where we have these bins, and this will have your team name on it eventually. We'll have a place in here for it with your team members' names. And inside this folder is where you will get your handout for your small group with your discussion questions. And you can get that anytime during youth group, but you want to have it in your hands before you go to your small groups. One of the things that you'll need to know is once you get your small group discussion guide, how do you conduct that group? What are you going to say to make your small group most effective? And it's really not complicated. But one thing that I do want to stress with you is there's 2 small group leaders in each group. And that's important. One thing why we have 2 small group leaders is if one of you is gone for some reason, you can contact the other small group leader and make sure that they're going to be there. That's important. I have 16 small group leaders, and I can't keep track of every one of you. So if you can't make it, it's your responsibility to contact your other small group leader and make sure that they know that they need to be there, and you're not going to be. When you get your small group discussion guide, you need to figure out how you're going to handle your small group discussion guide. What I would recommend is there's normally about 10 questions on your discussion guide. This is designed to last about 20 minutes. And what I would recommend is that you alternate asking the questions so that one leader doesn't dominate the group. It's up to you how you want to handle your group. You can talk to your other leader and ask them what they want to do with the questions. But what I think works best is that you take question number 1 and the other leader take question number 2. If that doesn't seem to work for you, maybe you ought to split it up. Maybe do half the page, one of you take half the page, the other one does half the page. But you and your other small group leader need to just briefly discuss that, how you want to handle it. And don't let one leader dominate the whole group, because the teens need to hear from both of you. All right, I've got a few scenarios that I want to go through with you on how to lead a small group. I'd like to go through with you briefly about some of the things you're going to encounter when you do a small group. Probably the biggest thing is when you go into your space where you're going to meet for your small group, there's going to be all kinds of distractions that the kids could get involved in. For instance, we could walk into this classroom right here, which we will, and you never know what you're going to find. You know, you could walk in the room and, Jordan, what are you laying on the chairs for? This is no time to be laying around. But Sydney's always very good, and Annalise are just great. It's wonderful to have them in your group. But then there's always going to be some other radical ones like, Gage, why are you standing on the chair? There's no reason to be on the chair. Sometimes you just don't know what you're going to encounter. You walk in your room, and here's Jordan Barton laying on the weight machine. Jordan, this is no time to be taking a nap on the weight machine. Aubrey, she's happy today. It's good to see you, Aubrey. You look great. And then Anna Reister. Hi, Anna. See you got a Coke today. Great. You back to drinking pop again? Good. You maintain your figure, looks like. It's good to see you. Not always sure what you're going to encounter. You could have a dog in your room, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't. Okay, what you want to do is encourage them to come and make a group and take control of your small group. It's like saying, hey guys, come on, we're going to start our small group. Why don't we all come over here and just sit on the floor right now and make a nice little circle right here so we can meet together. And tell them this is what you expect, that this is what you want to do. If you don't want to sit on the floor, that's fine. I don't like sitting on the floor. You can say, come on guys, we're going to pull our chairs in and we're going to make a circle. Let's see if we can make a circle, and let's try to do it really quickly if we would. And let's see what that looks like. Okay, I've taken time and I've gotten the small group now in a circle where it's much more beneficial for a discussion. If you look around, that they're not spread out over the room. You can see like Jordan Barton now, seems happier, that he can sit here with the group and can participate with Aubrey. And Anna's, right here in the group where we can make eye-to-eye contact, even with Jordan. Jordan seems a little happy today. Sydney seems happier because she's now, feels like everybody else is part of the group. And their knees are close together. They can see each other's eyes. You can make eye contact with every one of them in your group. So when you do this, try to get your group pulled together where you guys are a tighter knit group. It'll work out much better. If you have a wayward one in your group that just kind of wants to wander off and doesn't want to pay attention, sometimes you just have to let them go. Don't make a big fight about it. Just let them do their own thing. They're going to learn, they're going to listen, but they may not always want to participate and want to be part of the group. It seems like there's always one of those in about every group. I just want to show you a little bit about when you start your small group, how do you get it started. It's good to take a moment and get to know everybody and just recognize that they're there and say hi to everybody in the group. Whether it's Jordan or Aubrey or Anna, there's typically one or two that's going to come in late, and don't make a big issue out of it when they do come in. Just say hi to them and don't make it a big distraction. Try to encourage the ones that are in your small group not to be getting up leaving during your small group time, but try to hold it until they're done with small group time. I like to keep small group time to a limit between 20 and 30 minutes. If you feel that you need to go longer, you need to send somebody out and let us know, because we will be planning games. But our small group discussions are designed for about 20 minutes. So if you can keep it at that, that would be great. All right, one other thing. If you could spend 20 minutes on your actual discussion questions, and then 10 minutes for care time, that means 10 minutes would be where you'd spend asking the kids for prayer requests and then praying for those prayer requests. And that would be done at the end. So you need to look at your watch and keep track of your small group time. You also do not need to ask every question on the list. If you're running short of time, it's okay not to go through every question that you have.
So what do you guys think about what Tom said about how to treat your parents? Sometimes there's a silence, and that's okay. That might mean that they're thinking, or they might not know what to say. You might have to rephrase the question a few times to get them thinking. Sometimes it's just too much for them to comprehend. And sometimes, instead of no one talking, they can talk too much, they can make a lot of noises, they can just be a distraction. The best thing to do, instead of yelling at them or telling them to knock it off, is to simply engage them. In
closing, I just want to tell you a story about a girl named Teresa, and some of the things that happened while she was in youth group. She was raised in an evangelical church. Teresa's parents forced her to go to youth group each week. But deep down, she questioned Christianity. She particularly struggled with reconciling the concept of hell and a loving God. When she challenged her youth leader to explain the different theological issues, he shut her down. Angry and hurt, she plotted her escape. Every week as she headed down the hall toward the youth room, she ducked into the restroom and locked herself in a stall instead. There, she worked out her own customized worldview. She decided that God is a black woman who bakes cookies. There is no such place as hell, and reincarnation sounds good. Maybe you have more Teresas in your group than you know. Kids who just need a chance to ask the tough questions. They may not be locking themselves in the bathroom each week, but maybe they're locking the doors of their minds and their hearts instead. So we need to create a supportive, listening, and questioning environment where students can ask anything, bring any friend, and safely expose Christianity's faith at a deep theological and relational level. This is kind of the focus that I want us to have in our small groups. It's not about us. It's not about our stories. It's not about the things, the experiences that we've had. I don't think you need to spend 5 minutes each time telling your stories unless it's really necessary, because each of these teens are going through some issues in their life, and we want to deal with the issues that they're going through. I know they can learn from your experiences, and your experiences are valuable, but we have to use those at the right time. There has to be a balance about how much you say about yourself and about how much you probe into their lives and to get them to share. So it's been good with this video. Hope you take time and have learned something from it. And I look forward to a great fall challenge.